So I saw a YouTube short by someone called Miss Aditi. I put her name in the link, or I linked her name below, and it was talking about Gen Z and not having kids. And I'm a Gen Xer, and the idea of not having kids, I feel, has been something that's been slowly growing amongst women in general. I think the 1950s, a lot of people had kids more than usual because of the baby boom. And there was regret in that, but at least the environment might have been a little bit better. Um, the price of living was better. At least they were sold the dream up until a point. I think what happened with a lot of women, and I would say for more women of color, is that we've kind of gone through so much with children and suffering and being left alone. Like there's this false promise of you're going to have kids and this person's going to be by you. But as the daughters of these moms, we've seen so many women get left behind. Like, you literally go to a cancer center and they'll tell you there's high probability your husband's going to leave you. So I never really understand the concept of, well, who's going to take care of you? It's never really men, right? Most of the people that take care of women in their old age are women because we outlive men. So let's add that. And I just don't know if I've observed that many relationships between men and women. And I don't know if that's because, I'm a person of a certain complexion where there's actual affection and caring. I feel like a lot of times there's disdain and there's a pushing away of women until they just can't take it anymore. When I was younger in the 80s, I always thought I never wanted kids actually. Wanting kids was not something I wanted. It was like 80s, it was the crack epidemic, it was Brenda had a baby. It was just such a bad stigma to have kids. And there wasn't an adoration for kids, right? For girls, for daughters. And I just always felt like it was always done without emotional support. I had two kids. I was married. I didn't foreshadow getting a divorce, really. And it's not even just a divorce, it's also the lack of emotional support. A lot of us women have been swindled into having kids, right? We had kids on a lie, a false perception. And I think a lot of guys in our community, in their mind, they know they're not going to be there, but we don't. So it's something, what I could say is as a mom, to raise kids for someone that you realize that you've been hoodwinked for is such a complicated feeling. It feels like being trapped, and I think that's why so many women don't want kids, because they feel trapped, they feel stuck. Some of us had kids with groomers, predators, you know, con artists, and then you feel stuck. It's not like you have these kids and it's just, oh, 18 years, that's a lie, it's forever. And you have to deal with this person forever. Someone you don't really like as a person. And I think when you have kids, you want to make sure your kids are in this safe environment. They are protected. They keep their innocence. And I feel like as a black woman, black children have no innocence to be had. Like their innocence is violated from birth. I remember I saw, I think it was a Reddit thread or a Twitter thread, how many people have met their father's mistress. I feel like that's really rampant in general, but in our community, it's really crazy. And it's so traumatizing, right? And then for you to have to deal with that person, and a lot of times, if we're honest, mistresses are like an extra bully person that your significant other found. Like they usually become a bully to you, the mother of the children. If there's many more children, right? That is whoever was the last baby mom, I guess. I mean, I'm the first, the wife that got left, and even if that person doesn't have kids with the next person, being that I'm a spiritual person, having someone around your kid that you don't trust is such a big thing. And I don't know. I don't know if women are just not going to have kids. In my mind, I think there should be some normalcy to women having kids in a sperm bank if they really want kids. And I think these are for what they call the social, what is it? There's a term for it. Um, Social infertility girls, meaning, you've lived and you haven't found someone that you felt suitable to have kids for, and you're approaching your later age of production. I feel like, why is it we can't take charge in having a child, even if you wanted to have one child by yourself, so that you have complete autonomy over your children? And I think that would take away a lot of issues for women, a lot of control by narcissistic men when you want to have one child by yourself that you have complete autonomy over. Sure, it's not the ideal thing, but if we're honest, there are some women that do want to have kids no matter what. And I feel like having children should be something that you should have in a place of pure contentment. Not, oh, okay, well, I guess I got pregnant. I guess I'm stuck here. I mean, if that was your route. I think it's harder when you didn't know that you were going to be stuck in this position, and you got hoodwinked and you realize that 5 or 6 years later. But yeah, I definitely think that Gen Xers, because I know a lot of Gen Xers that didn't have kids until their late 30s or late 20s. So we've been holding out too. I guess we were waiting for men to be better. And now I'm not. Now I don't care. Um, I would say I love my kids. I definitely love my kids. But I think you mother differently when you had kids with someone who loved you back. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, that's not true. I still love my kids. No. To feel like a man loves you and his seed, and to have kids with that person, to have that Russell Wilson, Sierra type of vibe, you mother differently. You are the epitome of motherhood at that point. If you're happy with that person genuinely and want to have kids with that person genuinely, I think this is you at your best. And a lot of us are moms at our trauma, or continued trauma, because for many people the trauma continues on, right? You leave, and even after you leave, there's like this emotional assault back and forth. There's this, well, I'm the father. It's almost used against you in a way. Hopefully that can change. Hopefully we can find a different way. But in the meantime, if I was a woman, I would not have kids unless I was feeling quite undoubtedly sure of having kids. It's harder for us, right? Um, I I can say that the father of my kids provides me with financial sustenance, but it feels like I'm a paid surrogate, or like I was a paid concubine, if that makes sense, but I was married. It's actually the most disgusting feeling in the world, actually. And even now, I guess who my kids are surrounded by, I don't really have a say so in that. I just didn't see myself having kids in that way. And I think I explicitly made that understood. But I don't think that person cared. And I think that's why I was so adamant when I was younger of possibly having a child by sperm donor. It would be so disattached. I feel like if I'm going to be disattached, let it be my choice on my terms, right? Like now, Kiki Palmer, I think she really wanted a family, right? But she has a family, but now she has to worry about the danger of her child all the time. And she had money. I would have never had kids like that unless I found someone. If I didn't find someone, I had the money, I would have definitely just gone it alone. It's just not worth it. And that's my take on having kids. Shout out to the women now that don't want to have kids and have made a concerted decision to not want to have kids. Or shout out to the in-betweeners, the undecisive ones who are hopefully waiting for a partner. But if they're not, don't feel guilted. Don't feel shame for saying you want to have kids. And you know what? I'm going to have one because I can afford this one. I think we should have the option to have options as women and not feel shamed about it. And that's all I have to say. Thanks for listening. Bye.